All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this late night Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament jkoper edition. This is the nightcap for jkoper. He's raced 3 of them today. He's going against LordoftheSynth, and this is a pretty big one for him. He's trying to run the table today. He takes this one down. He's got his 3rd win of the day, and more importantly, the number 3 seed in his group. So this is 3's wild here tonight for jkoper, hopefully. Trying to stand his way as Lord of the Synth. Couple of veterans here. Couple of very recognizable names, and Lord of the Synth is going to try to take down koper, stop him from running the table, and, well, hopefully for Scarlet Shadow, promote Scarlet Shadow to number 3. So in the Ghost group, it's either going to be jkoper or Scarlet Shadow in that number 3 seed. It's all coming down to this one. So a lot on the line here. You can see, speaking of a lot on the line, you can see the starting stats there for our runners. They got a lot to start with here. They've got 18 strength. That's a pretty good amount. A decent amount of HP as well, and the Heal More spell to start. So we should be off for a really quick start here. Who knows if it'll stay that way, but definitely something to go for here. All right, and as we wait for our runners to get started, a quick reminder, the whole point of the game is to go kill the evil Dragon Lord and get the Ball of Light to restore peace to the world. Sadly, the Dragon Lord does not appreciate heroes coming in and trying to murder him. It's kind of an inconvenience. So our runners, in addition to looking for a whole bunch of fancy gear to help them kill the Dragon Lord, they're going to be looking for some key items. You can see in the grayed out in the tracker there. They're going to be looking for the Silver Harp, Stones of Sunlight, and the Erdrick's token to help them get the Rainbow Drop to build a bridge into Sharlock to help them kill that evil guy. And as I babble on about that, the king is babbling on about whatever. And our runners are off and running, so we'll see what's in these first 3 chests here. Oh, we got some opening golds. We've got some wings, so they'll be able to keep this key. That's a really nice start there. And, of course, the magic keys. They both see their Heal More spell. With that starting gold, they'll be able to buy lots of wings, so we expect our... And there's a town right there, too. Oh, Lord of the Synth gets the troll encounter, so he's a couple steps behind. But both our runners are going to walk right to the back of Tantegel, use that starting gold to buy more keys, and we'll get some checks of the treasury right away. So if they didn't have enough, they're going to get a freebie look at the treasury. Yes, thank you everyone in chat. Yeah, both our runners going with the Strength HP build, the most common build here. Their names, they're going with a J instead of the capital Z, which is more common, but it gives the same stat boosts. As they level up, they'll see increases to their Strength and HP, so they'll both be getting that. They'll both be getting the same, so they both the same name. Koper going to the treasury, Synth checking out the back, Koper finding gold, a torch, more gold underneath the treasury, a fairy water in the treasury, and another magic key. So I don't know, I guess the fairy water's helpful. Koper getting the troll from the guard there. Synth going to check the town out. Breckenary. He actually has some gold, so he can buy maybe a large shield if it's available. Oh, there it is. Club as well. So probably expecting to see him buy the large shield and club, and I imagine Koper will get the same thing. Koper didn't check the back, and Synth hasn't checked the treasury, but I'm assuming they'll both check those very shortly, and there's nothing super urgent in either one. It's nice to know there's a gold grind available, but nothing super important right away. Synth trying his luck on that Scorpion, not quite, but oh, this Magidrake might be better. Koper didn't quite have enough gold for that club, but I think once he goes and checks the back and gets his money out of Freebie Cave, he'll be, oh, Magidrake uninterested in getting killed. Wow, Magidrake waited a little bit to break that out, but Koper meanwhile has a Magician and gets the Magician. The Magician much kinder than Magidrake, so we'll see level 2. Level 2, oh, 7-7, only a couple 7s, but we'll definitely take that. And Koper off to check the back of Tantegel, I assume, and Synth getting the news about the treasury. Oh, Coper going for more gold in the treasury, right. With the key in the treasury, too, they can ghetto grind. So Coper getting his money for his large shield and heading right back there. Gonna probably get this magician as well. Synth looks like he's doing a similar thing. He's going back for some more gold, so he has his eye on something. Also of note, Breckenary right across the way did have the silver shield, so later on in the game when our runners set up the gold grind, if they set up the gold grind, there'll be a silver shield right nearby if anyone chooses to partake in that. Coper going for more gold. And Synth gets Magician as well, so he's got his level 2. And Coper back in Breckenary to get his large shield, and I don't know if he has eye on something else. Oh, the half plate was there, okay. That makes sense, and I assume Synth is going to get the same half plate, so both of our runners equipped the same way. So nice, definitely a nice start. They had some really good stats to start with. The club is kind of whatever, but the half plate and large shield, that's going to help them defense break a lot of these early enemies. Synth has seen the Magidrake's breath. Coper has not, so Coper might be in for a bad time when he sees a Magidrake, but in the meantime, he hasn't seen one yet. He gets another Magician, his third, and holy cow, 23, 12, 7, and 6. I don't know if he's gonna. The Magidrake might not last long if he encounters one. Coper gets his 4th Magician. This Scorpion should be no problem here for Synth. He's Oh, sorry. I think I did that. Poor Synth gets the hurt more from the Scorpion. The Scorpion would not have been a problem except for that. Meanwhile, Coper gets his 5th Magician, so level 4 is not great. Level 3 was pretty awesome, but level 4 is not great. Synth, another Magician. The Magician is the enemy you want to see. As we've seen on Synth's side, he's going to go for the one-shot on the Fairy Water and got it. It's very nice. As we see here, some of these opening enemies, another Magician for Coper. Jeez, wow. The Magidrake's trouble, the Scorpion is trouble, and Coper just keeps getting Magicians. This is the perfect enemy for him. He might not know it. He might be hoping to find something else, but wow, he's just getting... Everything's working out perfectly for him in the beginning here, but there you go. Synth gets a Magician. Another Magician for Coper. I think this is his 9th one. Oh man, another one. That's crazy. Centroid, thank you for raiding. You're just in time for this start here. We're just underway. Pretty nice start. We got both of our runners grinding here. Oh, will Synth be able to one-shot this Scorpion? He does. He one-shots the Scorpion. So Coper. Everything's working out well for Coper, but Synth is hanging in there too. So I'd expect Coper's probably going to get at least one more level in this area. He hasn't seen the nastiness of the Scorpions or Magidrakes, but at the same time, he has enough power, and so does Synth now, to one-shot them. So it's a little less concerning. It'll be interesting to see when these runners branch out. I expect Coper will pick up level 5, or level 6, sorry. And Synth might, nope, Synth is branching out now. But Coper is really close to, well, not really close, but he'll have his level 6 relatively quickly, so. Alright, so as Synth branches out, he is so far finding a whole bunch of nothing and an adorable little slime. Coper branching out the other way. So a little divergence as far as which way they chose to go, but it looks like this westerly path doesn't really go anywhere. And Synth finding a lot of empty space out to the east. And Drakema is already running away. It's the first Drakema we've seen this seed on Synth's side, and they're already running away. Ooh. And we get Golems and Rogue Scorpions, so that escalated quickly. Oh man, and Coper getting the one-shot on the Magidrake, so he doesn't even see the breath there. And Synth, yeah, the Rogue Scorpion, a little tough right now. Our runners do have a lot to start with, but the Rogue Scorpion is kind of advanced, so. Ooh, Coper has a Wolf. That's a really nice enemy for right now. Should be a relatively easy enemy to take down, and 40 nice experience points there. Yeah, Slamu, you know, we did throw this together. I gotta give props to Archfield and Venicus as well for coming together to get this late night going. Oh, so there's the Wolf. The Wolf has some bite as well with the Hurt More spell. I will point out Koper killed the wolf that I said would be easy to kill. I just said nothing about that other wolf, so that's not on me. That second wolf I said nothing about. The first one he got no problem. The second one I said nothing about. But Koper's got, of course, a magician to help him get to level 6. Well, Slamu, at least there's no Taloons here, right? So we're okay. Alright, kind of a modest level 6, so we'll see if Koper sets out here. And Synth hanging in there as well. Oh, geez, the Magidraki has the breath and the DL2 and Healmore, sorry. And Koper just crits a wolf, so the Healmore doesn't really, or the Hurtmore doesn't really matter because, you know, just crit. Right, so it looks like Koper wants another level before he sets out. Maybe going after those wolves, I guess. Or, you know, just Magidrakes and Scorpions in general. Synth back into Tantagle. I don't know, maybe looking for some more gold, perhaps? Poltergeists. I don't know what poltergeists are. I don't know about poltergeese. Koper setting off north, and he's got a cave in sight, but he's got one of those pesky rogue scorpions. He's gonna go for the rogue scorpion. A little optimistic, but we'll see if he can get away. They do have the heal more spell, so makes sense. If you could do a decent amount of damage, you know, you could heal more, maybe chip away at it, but 3, not quite enough. Koper is in the grave, it looks like, so he's gonna get, hopefully, ooh, Star Wyvern. But they have Baby Breath, that's a bit of good news. So Koper knows where the grave is, and he gets sent back here, but we'll see if he goes for maybe the 3 treasure chests, and possibly, I don't know if he's interested yet, but you could run a gold grind out of there, so we'll see if he chooses that, or if he just goes for the 3 in there. That's a good point in chat, too. Hurt plus heal more might have worked against the rogues as well, but given that Koper saw the cave, maybe he decided he didn't want to use all his resources, but yeah, you could go for that as well. Yeah, Koper going after this wolf, Synth reloading on the Fairy Waters. Wolf is not too Hurtmore happy, so maybe Koper has noticed that and realizes they aren't quite as troublesome as they maybe seem. He saw 1 Hurtmore, but he's gotten, I believe, 3 of them down without seeing a Hurtmore, so maybe their Hurtmore is kind of lower end, and he's going to try to pick up 7 here before he goes back into the grave. Oh, and he survives with 1 and is able to 2-shot. There we go. So, did not curse him there. Oh, and there's a second cave on Synth's side. So Synth finds the grave. We'll see if he has a little better luck making it there. We see on the screen there, wolves are in fact 25% hurt more. So Synth lighting up the grave for us. We'll see if Synth can make it there. This could really help Synth if he makes it to those 3 treasure chests where Koper could not. Ooh, a werewolf though. It's a rough grave, but Synth gets away. Uses an herb. Koper getting a, holy cow, more strength. In case you didn't have enough strength, take some more strength. All the strength on level 7 again. Jeez, a stone man, but a stone man with Baby Breath. Fortunately, Koper gets sent back with Hurtmore, a couple of Hurtmores, I believe, and Synth could not get away from the giant pile of rocks. So both of them have seen the grave, and both of them have been unable to get to the 3 treasure chests at the top there. Koper checking out the back of Tantagle, so he'll probably be a little disappointed to just find gold there. I wonder if Koper is going to go back to the grave. Synth is going to pick up a level or 2, which makes sense. He saw all the nasty stuff waiting in the grave. Unfortunately, level 6 is kind of meh. Level 7 is the one we all want. And Synth making the play for the grave, and ooh, there's a Wraith Knight in the way, but he gets away. So they're both going back for the grave, and they both get a Wraith Knight. Ooh, and a Wyvern. Wyvern's a good one for Synth. He can take this out for sure. between his attack power and his Healmore spell. And Koper gets the Wraith Knight down, thanks to that, I don't know, million strength at level 7. And Koper back in the grave. So they both get nice enemies with the Wraith Knight and the Wyvern. And they're both after those 3 treasure chests in the grave. There's a lot of nasty stuff in the grave, but they both have mid-40s agility. Oh gosh, an Armored Knight, jeez. I was going to say, mid-40s gives you a decent shot to run from your Sharlock enemies, most of your Sharlock enemies, but goodness. The Werewolf having nothing to do with Koper, and the Armored Knight is always a mess to get away from, so, this is going to be, well, I mean, if they make it to the 3 treasure chests, the Death Orb's easy to set up anyway, so there's that. Koper gets another Magician. We'll have to check his stat screen at the end. He's going to have killed like 100 Magicians by the time we're done with this. Alright, they're both back to the grave, which makes sense. Synth has another Wyvern, so that'll help him out. The grave's not really that far to the top 3, although Koper is going to go past and see the other cave, so we'll get a check and see what this is. It is... I do believe it's Mountain. Wait, is it Mountain? No, it's Swamp North. I couldn't tell if he was actually going north or bonking. So this will be interesting. We'll see where this takes him. Oh, gosh. And look at Synth. Synth is, he was trying for those Wyverns, and he's gotten a Wraith Knight. Looks like he's still looking for Wyverns. He hasn't gotten level 7 yet, so he doesn't have that extra power to go after the Wraith Knights. But he's looking for, I do believe, Wyverns, which still are a nice bit of experience for him, and there's one for him. So that'll definitely help him pick up that big level 7, and Koper back on the way to the caves, I would guess. Slamu, Swamp North leading to Tantegel Throne Room would be pretty good. We do know that the back of Tantegel is Freebie Cave. That would be pretty drolly for sure. Ooh, a Droll Magi up there. That's a good one for Koper. And Synth gets the 1,000,000 power level, so that will obviously help him in his quest to kill Wraith Knights if he runs into another. Alright, Synth back in the grave, so we'll see how he goes. And Koper looks like he's more interested in Swamp Cave. Oh, or maybe more interested in grinding. Yeah, he's going to look for those Wraith Knights, I guess. And he's going to pick up... Ooh, he gets back attack, but he has Healmore. And Synth has made it to the treasure chests. He's got a torch. He's got a gold. And he's got... a curse belt. Wow. Not super exciting. Ooh, is Synth lighting it up to go maybe for a basement check? Interesting, interesting. Yes, a one-way trip to the throne room. So Synth is gonna go for the bottom. Interesting play here. This could pay off. Could pay off big time if there's something there. Meanwhile, Koper is gonna get the Wraith Knight and see what level 8 is all about. Level 8 is... oh, wow. 11 more power. Jeesh. Take all the power, please. Meanwhile, Synth gets away from the Star Wyvern, so Synth is on the path still. Ooh, another one, though. And he gets away just fine, so he's out of that nasty zone. We'll see what the bottom of the grave has. Yes, Aaron, sleep outside and return. Some sort of okay-ish spells. Though the 11 power is probably the highlight for our runners there. And, oh, look at that for Synth! Look at that, treasure chest number 4 in the grave has the sword, and Synth checking his stats, 112 attack power already. Oh, goodbye, Wraith Knight, goodbye. Suddenly one-shotting. Suddenly one-shotting Wraith Knight. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal when you go from the club to Erdrick's sword, and that Wraith Knight getting the wrong end of the sword there. Koper, meanwhile, giving Grave another chance, and the Werewolf uninterested. We'll have to see if Koper makes the same play. Now we know that that's the gamble to make, but boy, I don't know. I would have a tough time doing it if I were in Koper's shoes, and man, Synth gambled on bottom of the grave, and it's paid off big time. So we'll have to see if Koper takes that same battle. Same gamble. Synth on the way to Treasure Chest 5. I mean, this has already worked out brilliantly for him. He's one-shotting Wraith Knights and almost one-shot that Rogue Scorpion as well. That sword's going to let him catch up real fast in experience. He wasn't that far behind in experience anyway, but that's going to let him catch up real fast in experience. And, Koper looks like he's heading out to the east. He doesn't look interested in Grave at all. So Synth can take this sword and really push it to his advantage here. Although in Koper's, looking at Koper here, he's able to take out knights. Not quite as quickly as Synth would be able to, as Synth gets the level 8 and the 11 power, extra power. So Synth is a 123 attack power, less than 20 minutes into the siege. Jeesh. But yeah, Koper's still able to take out some of these higher value enemies. So, I mean, Synth is going to be able to push this a little bit, but Koper's got a good amount of strength to do some damage here. And some stones, wow! So Synth gambled the bottom two, and both treasure chests had really important items. The sword, of course, and the Stones of Sunlight, one of our key items. And that answers my question. I was going to wonder if Synth was going to go for the gold grind, but nope. Synth is going to take his power and go start slashing things out there, I guess. Yeah, that's a great gamble on Synth's part. It really paid off big time. And, I don't blame Koper for passing on the grave. He's gotten bounced out of there, 3-4 times now. It looks rough. It is rough. But, man, Synth navigated it, got away from a couple Starwards on the top floor. And, boy, that paid off. The sword and the stones in bottom of grave. Depending on how long it takes Koper to get back to grave, and if he even chooses to gamble bottom of grave, boy, Synth could push this a lot. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it's a tough one if you want a gold grind or not. That's why I was really interested to see what Synth was going to do there. I get it. It doesn't take that long to grind for the silver shield, but the agility's pretty decent, like 49 at level 8, sure. And you have 123 attack power. You can get out there and start smashing things. And you start feeling like it's a jet seed and you want to go. So I get it. It's tough. They do have the large shield. The silver's only 10 more defense. So I definitely understand Synth wanting to go and slash things to death. I would also understand, wanting the extra defense. So it's an interesting decision here, but Synth has chosen to slash things and he's pushing out. And Koper again. Ooh, Synth has 2 towns and a cave. So Synth has Remolder, not as big a deal because we started with keys, but he'll get a treasure check here. Koper taking out that regular knight, and ooh, I missed what Synth found there, but oh, we all missed what he found there because it's empty. Perfect. Alright, so Synth sees a magic armor and a silver shield in Remolder. The other thing I should point out about the grind is that grave is close enough. You can pick up those 3 treasure chests and set up a gold grind pretty quickly if you decide it's necessary later on. So maybe Synth, is figuring he can reevaluate later on, and if he really needs that 10 defense, he can go grab it relatively quickly endgame. So. Koper with the Stone Man, who he puts to sleep, and I believe Koper's still navigating his way through. Oh, he's back in the grave, right? Okay. Wait. Is he? Yeah, he's in the grave. There we go. So he's got his top 3. We know the top 3 are bleh, but we'll see if he goes for the bottom 2. Meanwhile, Synth has found Cantlin. So he's going directly for the coordinates. And I believe Synth got the top 3, and he's still there. So he's going after this Magic Wyvern, of course. He doesn't have much resources, though, so I don't know if he's going to be able to... Wow. Oh, Synth with... I saw the 2 south on the coordinates and thought this was going to be an easy count. Then 56 is a little tougher, but not impossible. Right, so Koper is going to put this Stoneman to sleep. So it looks like, oh, and it didn't work. I was going to say, it looks like he's trying to get to the bottom, but game having nothing to do with it. So we'll see if Koper takes this opportunity to pick up his silver shield. He could get a gold grind if he feels like it. He opens 3 in grave, and nope, he's not interested either. So both our runners passing on the gold grind. And Koper's heading north. I wonder if he's going for swamp or if I wonder if he's going back into grave. Obviously, we know that grave is the better place to go, but boy, in Koper's shoes, it'd be tough to go check bottom of the grave. But if he managed to do it somehow, that'd be big. And Koper's pushing north, so he's going to find Cantlin, Remolder, Cole, that other cave, everything. He's going to find everything as Synth is into the 3rd town here with Cole. You know, Koper doesn't have the sword, and I know Synth has been doing exploration, but Koper's kept a pretty good experience lead up here, and he's about to get the same towns as, I believe that was a token in Cole, right? So nothing super duper urgent. But yeah, Koper is going to be right there on the tail, and Koper has a pretty substantial experience lead despite this sword. Ooh, Synth with the red dragon. He's going to go for it. He might be able to do this. 33, he's going to need some help. Some help in the form of low rolls from the red dragon, who is not obliging. And I think he was going for the crit there and didn't quite get it. But castle's not too far away. So now that Synth knows where that cave is, he can go make his way back there again. Yeah, 47 HP is rough. He was doing a good amount of damage. He was going to need, what, maybe 3 attacks if the dragon rolled low HP. So maybe if you get some low rolls from the dragon, yeah, that's always going to be tough. So yeah, he was definitely fishing for a crit there. So Synth is... Oh, is he going for the grind now? Is he going back for the gold grind, I guess? And yeah, that's a good point too, Brian. Maybe scouting out to see if they had anything is another good point. And again, and you got Koper there too. The castle's not that far away, so it's not like a death there is that big a deal, right? So... Oh yeah, good point, Aaron. He also seen magic armor, so it's not just the silver shield. Oh man, these stonemen, I hate stonemen so much, but both our runners have tried to put a stoneman to sleep to no avail. Both our runners have hit the 1 in 16 no sleep on the stoneman, and both have gotten bounced out of the grave because of it. So stonemen are just trolling right along like they always do. Yeah, the stonemen, it's, it's 1 in 8. Well, either way, it's still... They usually go to sleep, and they are not going to sleep for either one of our runners. So at least they're being consistent. So Synth is back in the grave. Again, it's annoying, but the grave is right there. So Synth is going to take out this Star Wyvern. Meanwhile, Koper getting the coordinates. Oh, did Koper get a stoneman with sleep? I totally missed that, but I do know that they both failed to sleep to the stoneman in the grave, which is mind-boggling, but there you go. I mean, I guess it's, what, 1 in 64, but anyway. Not that mind-boggling. So Synth back in the grave, and he is... looks like... Where is he? He should be approaching the treasure chest now. But yeah, looks like he's doing that grind for, as Aaron points out, maybe magic armor plus silver shield. He decided that 2 of them was worth it, whereas the one might not have been. So Koper into Cole, and he has his Erdrick's token. Yeah, I was going to say, Aaron, it's always hard to tell if they're lost or I'm lost, because if I had to bet, I would say I'm probably the one that's lost. But Synth has his 3 chests, and I assume he's going to take a death real quick here. This stoneman will oblige. Yep, there's the obligatory attack, and back to the castle. So Synth will set up his gold grind for, yeah, as you guys point out, the magic armor plus silver shield. That will give him some pretty nice defense to go along with his ridiculous attack power. Koper's got a Rogue Scorpions. That's a nice little 70 experience as well. And he's off. I don't know, did Koper see the cave? I think he just saw the 3 towns, and he might not have gotten the cave to show up on his screen. Probably only matters if that cave is mountain. The trade-in caves, less urgent. So probably doesn't matter too much, but I imagine he'll eventually see that town shortly, or that cave shortly. Meanwhile, Synth does have the gold grind going. You know, despite Synth's gamble going for it, getting the sword, having the Stones of Sunlight, Koper's kept up a pretty good experience lead. He's managed to kill a lot of these higher value enemies as well. So he's not letting the fact that he only has the club stop him. And of course, they have 84 strength, and you know, Koper has 88 attack power. That's still a good amount. So he's managed to really keep the experience going, and he's kept up with the exploration minus Bottom of Grave. You know, he's seen all the towns and everything like that. He picks up level 10 here, which is modest, we'll go with. Modest, yep. Yeah, Freebie was in the back of Tantagle Scarlet, but yeah, you have Harp trade-in, Jerk trade-in. That's true, we haven't seen Swamp South. That could be Swamp South, which would be amazing. But yeah, I mean, Mountain is the only one of those that's super duper urgent, right? And it looks like Koper is going to get funneled over that direction anyway, so he's going to see that castle, that cave really shortly. Synth is done with his gold grind. He's going to save because we know there are those evil red dragons on the way. One thing to mention here too that will help Synth with the defense is the attack. The HP is still kind of lagging. On level 8, 47 HP. Even Koper on 10 only has 53 HP. That's not a ton, so yeah, maybe we want a little more defense to help us out there. And I was gonna say, I glanced over there. Did Koper find that was Swamp South? Koper found that was Swamp South, right? So Swamp Cave takes you like 2 screens over. Good job, Swamp Cave. Good job. Alright, so Synth, was that an Armored Knight that, jeez. Well, of course, good thing Synth saved, but there's some nastiness. Both of them managed to get up to those towns without seeing too much bad stuff, but there's apparently some nastiness hanging out between them and those towns up north, huh? Yeah, Bob, the tough part with that, oh, Koper's going back for the grave. This could be big for him. I am amazed they either one of them check, because there's so many treasure chests still out there. I feel like you've got Hawksness, you've got the Coordinates, you've got all of Mountain Cave. I would have a tough time gambling Bottom of Grave, but you know, Synth showed us that's the way to do it, and Koper's in there too. So unless Koper might be going for a gold grind, looks like he's walking north in Grave. But that's a tough gamble. There's so many other treasure chests, but man, we know it pays off for Synth. So, you know, I would definitely not blame Koper if he put it off till the end. I usually do. But Synth has really hit the mother load gambling that early, and so we'll see if he can push that to his advantage and get this experience back. Yeah, oh, another Armored Knight. Another Armored Knight for Synth. Yeah, this is eating a lot of time. Again, the thing that we know is that even the next couple levels are not going to give him much HP. So what he would be hoping is, of course, that this gear helps him to survive in lower HP situations. Whereas Koper, maybe without the gear, lower HP, has a tougher time killing things. Maybe like if Synth stumbles across Hawksness, he can kill whatever's there. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, Synth, he's walking a different path, I think, to try to avoid that same Armored Knight. But yeah, Synth needs to get this gold. I mean, at this point, he's committed, obviously, right? But Synth needs to get this gold there. And it looks like Koper is at the top 3, so he might be setting up for a gold grind as well. Alright, so Synth has made it to Remolder. He's going to have his defensive gear, and again, time for him to start pushing that because he's got, about 1,300 experience to get back. But again, we know he's got that sword, he's got the Stones of Sunlight. Looks like Koper's following him gold grind, so he's probably only going to have the magic and silver advantage for a little bit. but he needs to push that and claw back some of this experience, because the exploration is pretty even, and it's just, aside from bottom of grave, the exploration is pretty even. So this is Synth's time to push that advantage. Yeah, Koper's dying, but I think that was an intentional. I think he was, yeah, looks like he's going to set up the gold. Well, he's going to take the opportunity to set up the gold grind anyway. I don't know if he was trying to get to bottom of grave or not, but he's going to take the death opportunity to get the gold grind going. So yeah, again, I would not be surprised if he follows in Synth's footsteps, but again, he has not made it to bottom of grave, and I would totally not blame him for putting bottom of grave off till the very end. Yeah, he was definitely taking the gold grind. Once he got that encounter, he was definitely taking the gold grind, but I couldn't tell in the dark if he was trying to walk to the bottom and just decided meh and took the death. But yeah, that was definitely an intentional death once he got the encounter, but I couldn't tell where he was walking in the dark before that. But yeah, either way, he's grinding up the gold, and he's going to have that same defensive gear that Synth does, but of course he'll be short the sword and the Stones of Sunlight. Oh, that's a good point too. Yes, of course. Koper doesn't have the sword yet, and he's seen the flame, so he's probably going to grind up to the flame sword. Exactly, yeah. Which, interestingly enough, with this strength that they have, the flame sword is probably as good as Erdrick's sword right now. But of course, we know that the bottom of the grave has the Stones of Sunlight as well. So even if this seed gives them enough strength that you could win with the flame sword, you still have to go to bottom of grave to get the stones out of there. Alright, so as Koper grinds, Synth is pushing out and using all of his gear to explore around. And looks like the west dead ends, so he's going to head north. I don't believe he's counting... Jeez, Armored Knight. I'm sure that's the last thing Synth wants to see. That is full of those. I don't think either runner... Well, Koper's been looking at the gold grind, but I don't think Synth was counting. I don't believe he was. So I don't think either runner's gone after the coordinates quite yet. But Synth branching out and exploring, while Koper goes max gold to get a flame sword, magic armor, and silver shield. So he'll be, Koper will be only 12 attack power shy of Synth, so he's going to be able to kill a lot of the same stuff that Synth is able to kill. So again, we might not see the experience gap close until Koper goes for the Stones of Sunlight, basically. That's the real big difference at this point with bottom of grave. Like, the sword is nice, but the Stones of Sunlight are the thing that are going to be absolutely required for Koper to go into bottom of grave. Yeah, that's true, I guess. The coordinates, you know, what are we looking for? We're just looking for the harp and the armor at this point. Although, as far as Koper's concerned, he hasn't seen the sword yet, or the stones yet, so the coordinates could be a variety of things, but we know that they can just be the harp or the armor. Or, of course, you've got the death necklace or flute, so I guess it's 50-50 as far as if they're anything somewhat useful. Or wait, did I say fighter's ring? Death necklace. Anyway, there's two things that are good and two things that are not good that could be on the coordinates. Or not great. Oh, Koper going into the grave. Okay, back out. I was going to say, I don't know what he's doing with all that gold. Yeah, he's going to work his way... I see, he's going to work his way north and go get the rest of that gear. There you go, so Koper into Remolder to get his magic armor, and Cantlin just a few steps away for the flame sword, so he'll be done with all of his shopping. And Synth finding slimes. So the one thing that, the one other thing that Koper has, and I don't know if we can do it with 75 defense, but Koper does have the repel spell. I guess it's kind of tough to repel right now. You'd be repelling all sorts of stuff that you want to be killing, but as Synth encounters red slime after red slime after red slime, it is worth noting that Koper has repel and Synth hasn't gotten there yet, though he'll have it shortly. in case anyone wants to go into full exploration mode and repel 75% of the enemies. Synth getting the Star Wyvern, and Koper getting a Magi Wyvern for level 11. And level 11 has some much-needed agility, to take that agility for sure. And the defense power that goes with it. Their defense breaking now are their first Sharlockian, at least on Koper's side, is defense breaking the Wizard. Yeah, Brian, the silver, I mean, if you go with Repel, you'd be going into full exploration mode, right? Which, I don't know. Not sure if you'd want to do that or not. And yes, Bob, so there are implications here if, exactly, like Shadow says, this is for the 3rd seed in the Ghost group. If Koper wins, he's got seed number 3, and if Koper loses, then Scarlet Shadow has seed number 3. So this is for the 3rd seed in the Ghost group, essentially. Alright, so both of our runners are equipped to the teeth, and Koper out exploring, and Synth looks like he's grinding this werewolf zone. I would guess that's what he's going for here anyway. Didn't see what else is in the zone, but the werewolves make for nice kills, and he's going to pick up 10 very shortly here. Yeah, Brian with a good point as well. The Swamp Spike tile. We know Swamp Cave doesn't go anywhere, but Swamp Spike, you might be able to grind that. I don't know. I feel like this siege seems so jetty that I don't know if our runners want to stop and do a dedicated grind, but it's certainly an option. Especially if you keep getting killed by, like, red dragons and armored knights out in the world. Koper has branched to the northwest, it looks like, and he's got Garanham. So this could turn around. Maybe if he finds an armor here or something like that, this could give him a nice little boost. Right, so Synth has refreshed in Tantagle, and he is going for repels. Maybe he is in full grind or full explore mode. And we're gonna get from Koper, we're gonna get a check of the back of Garanham. Yeah, this could be big if there's like armor back here or harp back here or something like that. Synth is into Swamp. Oh, he gets an armored knight. I'm sure he's thrilled with that. Back of Garanham has a fighter's ring. We've got tons and tons and tons of attack power, but sure, throw 2 more into the pile. Why not? Somewhat uninteresting herb. And there's the Death Necklace. All right, well, Death Necklace, unlikely to be a thing in this one. The Death Necklace will give you 10 extra attack power at the cost of 25% of your HP. Given this is a high strength seed and a low HP seed, at least right now, unlikely we'll want to make that trade, but you know, who knows what the future levels will bring. And it is Mountain Cave underneath Garanham, so if Mountain Cave has got, again, that harp or that armor, this could be big for Koper. Looks like Synth, looked like for a second he was counting, but I guess maybe not. Hey, Koper doesn't know it, but the Death Necklace there suddenly means that on the coordinates there are 2 things that could be good, the harp and armor, and only 1 that would be not good, the fairy flute. So coordinates maybe getting a little closer to being required, as Koper checking, getting an herb, and getting a dragon scale. Again, 2 more defense to throw on the pile. We don't really need it, but sure, whatever. And yeah, Synth looks like he has found an Axe Knight on the Swamp Spike tile. So here's our kind of divergence. Koper exploring, and he's got the Mountain Cave, which he's hoping will pay off, and Synth has got Axe Knights. And look at that, Koper's got the armor in Mountain Cave. So this is definitely a nice little boost for Koper there. I mean, you figure that Synth is going to eventually branch out and explore, eventually find Garanham, but you know, who knows how long it'll take. So now we've got Koper with the Mountain Cave and Erdrick's armor advantage, whereas Synth has the Grave and Sword advantage. Meanwhile, Koper, as he keeps getting all this stuff, starting to realize that Well, there's not that many checks left, so I wonder when it's going to be before he goes and checks bottom of grave. He's whittled down the checks, and there's still no sword, and more importantly, no stones of sunlight. So he's going to check a couple other things, of course, but coordinates, hawksness, etc. But Koper probably in the back of his mind thinking like, there are not that many places left to look, and bottom of grave, so that might push him towards the bottom of the grave. Meanwhile, Synth has rescued the princess. So not doing the Axe Knight grind, but getting the princess for the coordinates, of course. And so we're probably going to get a coordinate check very soon. Koper's got what's got to be a trade-in cave, and it's Jerk Cave. So that's where you'll take all the goodies to get your rainbow drop, but we're not quite there. Well, we're not there at all yet. We haven't found the harp. We haven't found the harp trade-in. Koper himself has not found the stones of sunlight. So we're a little ways away from that, but always good to know where that is. Yeah, Red Mage. Koper could go without the sword. That is definitely true. We have high strength there. But the thing that's stopping him is those stones of sunlight, right? You're going to need the stones of sunlight to create the rainbow drop. And the stones of sunlight are also in the bottom of the grave. So yeah, the sword right now is not... 12 attack power is obviously always helpful. But it's not a huge deal at the moment. The stones of sunlight are the thing that you must get no matter what. And those are also in the bottom of the grave. So, but again, Koper knows that there's very few places those stones of sunlight and the sword could be at this point. So we'll see if we get a bottom of grave gamble for him next time he's back in the castle. Yeah, Red Mage, at the end it is, but right now it's not. For most of the stuff they're killing right now, like, the 12 attack power doesn't matter for most of the stuff now. At the end game, for sure. But yeah, you're right. Look at Koper, by the way, getting that golem. And 12 is... that's pretty good. 5, 5, 8, 24. Hello. Okay, so Synth on his way to the coordinates, and Koper is grinding... Is he looking for the golem, maybe? He's probably looking for anything he can find, but... Oh no, Synth did all that work for the coordinates, and it is the Zonk prize, the Fairy Flute. It's not nothing, but as we see on Koper's side, Koper's already killing with golems, so and I think they had stop spell, right? So not what we were hoping for. Yeah, I was just saying, we know that it's a 2/3 chance where you had harp, armor, and flute. It was 2/3 chance of being something good. We did not get the 2/3 chance this time. And we got the stats there. Yeah, not only are golems stop spell happy, but they're 75% stop spell. And then, by the way, they'll follow that up with a 50% hurt. So in case they decide not to stop spell, they might cast the vicious spell of hurt and do like 3 damage to you. So... yeah, the Fairy Flute's pretty garbage here, huh? As Koper just slaughtering them in this desert. Look at that. Koper even going with Repel so he doesn't waste time with the other encounters. Just looking for the golem, of course. And there's another one for him, and he's just feasting on these guys. Synth, unable to get that Metal Slime, and gets a Rogue Scorpion right afterwards. So, boy. Koper, all of a sudden, looking pretty good, having stumbled across these free golems in this desert, and having gotten Erdrick's armor. Yes, he still has to get the sword. Yes, he still has to get the Stones of Sunlight out of the bottom of grave, but... and look, he just picked up 13 here. And this grind is probably better than the Axe Knight grind. There's the HP and magic. There's some hurt more. And he's pretty happy with 13, and he's off and running, looking to explore and find the last little bits that he needs. Yeah, Aaron, we don't have too many checks left, so the places that we have, well, Koper has bottom of grave. But yeah, we haven't seen Hawksness. We haven't seen Tablet. You're absolutely right there. And I think those are the only two places we haven't seen yet. So one of them has to have our harp. As far as each runner goes, you know, each runner hasn't seen everything. Ooh, we have Synth with Charlock and a cave up there. But as far as collectively, we are just missing those two checks. So the harp has to be either in Hawksness or Tablet, right? Koper, having just gotten the Hurtmore spell, takes out that Armor Knight. Although Koper could probably just kill the Armor Knight by swinging, but he Hurtmores it to death. And Synth dueling with this Star Wyvern. Oh gosh, Koper gets another Golem. It's not even that same zone, but he will definitely take the 350 experience for free. Oh, Synth with Tablet Cave, it looks like. Okay. So we're going to get one of those checks that we haven't seen. Brian, if we're talking about ghost stats, of course we need more HP, right? You want to have 97 HP to be safe from 2 Dragon Lord breaths. 124 attack power, not probably quite enough when he finds the sword, because he will find the sword on his path to the Stones of Sunlight, and he goes up to 136 attack power. Maybe. I've got 136 attack power. You'd want 10 to 11 heal more, so maybe-ish. But yeah, Koper is close, but not quite there with the sword, I think. And of course, the HP is lagging, so. Yeah, 136 and 10 heal mores, you could do it, but you'd have no margin for error. And of course, Koper's going to pick up a level for killing these golems, apparently. He's got another golem here. So yeah, in the process of finding the harp, finding the stones, doing all your trade-ins and stuff, Koper is definitely going to pick up at least one more level. And you do need the HP as well. So by the time the HP is there, you're probably going to be in go mode. But 136 and 10 heal mores is on the border. Probably okay, but another golem for Koper. My goodness. Man, oh man. It is good to be Koper right now. So Synth finding Swamp South. So he gets the news about the Swamp Caves. Wait, sorry, did I miss it? Did we get a tablet check? Did Synth check tablet? I totally missed it if he did. I missed it amongst the jkoper golem slaughtering party. It was a Belton tablet, okay. So yeah, so I guess that does put the harp in Hawksness. Koper found Harp Cave, but no harp yet for him. And Koper's got 14 off the back of another golem. And let's not talk about level 14. We'll just pretend like that never existed. Oh, and is this... looks like Hawksness for Koper, so we know he's about to get his harp. And I believe he just saw Harp Cave, so he's going to get that trade-in taken care of. And that's going to give him a nice little exploration. But of course it's a golem. Why would it not be a golem? Sheesh, just, if Koper didn't have enough golems before, here you go, have some more. Koper's really hit the jackpot on these golems. So, this I do believe has to be the harp, and so I imagine Koper will go trade in the harp and then just feast on these things for as long as he needs to. Yep, there we go. There is our harp. And, like I said, we've got the, oh, Koper going for some more golems. That's obviously fine. So he's going to just milk this for everything it's worth. These golems are, what, basically free? They don't do anything, so he's just going to take all the experience and he has all the HP. And I do believe Koper he hasn't seen Tablet, but I think he hasn't seen Tablet of the Coordinates. But boy, I mean, those two in the bottom of Grave have to be looming large for him, and they're two relatively quick checks compared to searching for Tablet, compared to searching the Coordinates. So I would not be surprised if once he's done with this, if he does go for bottom of Grave. Yeah, Synth had the early sword, which was nice, but man, Koper did a really good job of, even though he didn't have the sword, continuing to get those high-valued enemies. And then, man, once he found and realized those golems, I don't think Synth has seen a golem yet, so that's really unfortunate for him. But man, Koper pushed the golems, and he's still pushing the golems for every penny they're worth, which is really good awareness on Koper's side. It's definitely unfortunate. I don't think Synth is getting these red dragons instead of golems. But definitely good awareness on Koper's part to realize that these things are just paying out for free and just taking him for everything. Koper already to 15, and let's not talk about level 15 either, but good news, the golems will give you 16 real quick. So as Koper continues to kill golems, Synth takes another red dragon kill, death, which is obviously not what he needs. Alright, so Synth back at it as Koper continues to just kill. Oh, here we go. Synth has a golem, so he's going to go for it. He used flute because he doesn't know how free they are, but hopefully for Synth, what will happen is this golem will wake up and, stop spell or hurt or something like that, and then Synth will, there you go, wakes up and stop spell, and now Synth, oh right, Synth doesn't have the armor yet, but still. Yeah, even though he did hit the golem hit the stop spell, remember they do still have 50. Now Synth hasn't seen it yet, but they do have 50% hurt. So yeah, Synth has to get out of there. So at least he knows about the stop spell. But yeah, with no armor, the golem can hit that stop spell. And yeah, speaking on Synth's side, the agility, Koper's side, the agility's been going up. Synth getting another golem, so hopefully this one treats him better. The agility going up, which means that on Koper's side, he has 92 defense power. Yes, we are defense-breaking green dragons and only 2 defense away from defense-breaking an Axe Knight. And maybe more importantly, defense-breaking, repelling them. So when Koper does dive Sharlock, probably relatively soon, we're not going to see very much on the way down at all, so. Alright, so Synth has got this golem. Golem being a little more friendly, took a couple tries to stop spell him at least. So again, hopefully for Synth's sake, this golem will either stay asleep and die, or, there we go, he got him. So he'll pick up 12. I was going to say, or he'll cast Hurt, and Synth will get the news about stop spell and Hurt. Alright, so Synth with his pretty solid level 12 there. Meanwhile, Koper on to 16, because the golems are free. Let's not talk about 16 either. I feel like we haven't talked about any levels for the last, 3 or 4 levels. But again, good news, 17 is not that far away. So Koper will be looking for 12,000 even for level 17, which at 350 a pop per golem does not take long. I think Koper has gotten more levels on this grind than Healmore's used, right? I think he's gotten like 3 levels and used 2 Healmores or something ridiculous like that. I mean, this golem is such a silly good grind, and just really unfortunate for Synth that, he hasn't been able to take advantage of this golem the same way that Koper has. Koper's just pushing this golem for everything it's worth, and a little more, I feel like. Meanwhile, Synth has an Armored Knight. He's going to be able to get it looks like, right here, but yeah, the Armored Knight's not what you want to see at this point. Yeah, now in looking at it from Synth's side, Synth, will eventually find Garanham and get his armor. He'll eventually find Hawksness and realize the golems are free, and he'll do the same thing. I don't know. Unfortunately, at this point, though, Koper, He might look around for tablet, he might lose some time to the coordinates, but it's not going to take him long before he gets to the bottom of the grave. And in fact, like I said, that might be the first thing he looks at once he ends up back at the castle. So Synth needs to find Garanham real fast and get on this grind really fast to, hopefully maximize the amount of experience he can get while Koper's looking for the stones and sword. But man, this is tough. Synth has to get to these golems quickly. Yeah, I don't know, Red Mage, if this is even a relationship. I think Koper's just smashed him out so fast. I don't know if he even qualify. Oh, 17! Hey, look, another level. Okay. Well, there we go. There's all the HP you need. That is probably, yep, so there you go. Koper's done with the grind. He needs to get the stones. And I assume he's going to trade in the harp very shortly here. He needs to get the stones, and he'll pick up the sword as well. Once he gets that sword, that's 144 attack power for him. You need 8 to 9 heal mores. You are good. Koper does still have some exploration left to go. He hasn't seen Sharlock yet. Synth saw Sharlock. Koper has not. So Koper does have a little bit of exploration to go, but I mean, what's going to stand in his way? Like, nothing? Is it nothing? So here goes Koper trading in his harp. And yeah, he's just a stones. He's seen Jerk Cave. So he's just a stones and the location of Sharlock away from go time. Right, Brian. Even without the sword, it's a win. But again, he's going to stumble across the sword while looking for the stones. And he's walking towards the grave. So there you go. Makes... Oh, wait. No. Go back. There you go. No. Hey, go back. Looks like he's going to go for the coordinates instead, I guess. Which, again... Like I said, when Synth checked it makes sense. There are... Well, you have the stones versus the flute, right? Those are the two things that Koper hasn't seen. So it's a 50-50. All right, so as Koper goes for these coordinates, this could give Synth a chance to catch up. He has to run from that, though. Yeah, Synth's big problem here is he just hasn't found Garanham. He needs to get to Garanham. As chat pointed out, without the Erdrick's armor, those golems can actually hit the stop spell, and that becomes problematic. So, and I think Synth is exploring. I believe Garanham was to the northwest, I think. So, unfortunately for Synth, I don't think... Oh, hey, Sharlock's not that far away. I didn't realize it was that close. Unfortunately for Synth, I don't think he's exploring the right way. Obviously, he has no way to know that, but... Oh, look, a red dragon. So, Synth also having some rough goes with encounter luck. I think Koper saw maybe 1 or 2 red dragons, and it seems like Synth... Oh, gosh, the excellent dodge just to rub salt in the wound. But yeah, Synth has seen a lot of these red dragons at inconvenient times. Yeah, I would agree, Brian. I think, like I was saying, especially, I mean, yes, it was nice that he he explored and found Garanham and got the armor. But man, once he realizing the golems, right? I mean, even before Hawksness, he was pushing those golems in that desert zone south of Garanham and just pushing that to his advantage every bit he could, which was definitely very good awareness, for sure. And that's certainly been the difference here, right? The extra experience, but also just the ability to explore better, because he's, 5 levels ahead at this point. Oh, look, a golem. Interesting that that Koper is going for it. I wonder if he just feels like, why not pick up 18 while I'm out and about doing things, or just feels like they're free, so why not? But... that's a good point. Yeah, you're right, Brian. The Wraith Knights as well. Yeah, before he even found the golems, you're right. Koper, like I mentioned, we had the, Synth had the sword, but Koper was attacking those mid-range / higher range enemies and keeping up in experience, which, despite the fact he didn't have the sword. So yeah, absolutely. Looks like Koper is walking in the direction of the, the coordinates, of course, but I wonder if as he goes to the coordinates, he'll see Sharlock as well, which is just to the north. So the coordinates don't lead north, but I wonder if maybe he'll get a peek at Sharlock as he keeps going east here. Oh, look, a red dragon on Synth's side. I'm sure that's exactly what he wanted to see. He is going for it, though, and I think he's got a good shot. Koper walking a little south. Makes sense, because that's where the coordinates are, but doesn't spot Sharlock. He will eventually. That's a good point, Aaron. He might walk around for Tablet. From Koper's point of view, though, after he gets the Zonk prize here, the bottom of Grave is going to be 2 checks versus Tablet just 1. So it might be one of those, like, let's do the 2 we know where they are versus the 1 where I don't know where it is. But yeah, he might. He's out here. He might decide, like, oh, let's look around for Tablet before I go back home. Definitely. But I think once he ends up going back home one way or another, he's going to look at the bottom of Grave. But yeah, while he's out here, he might say, like, oh, Tablet might be a screen away. Let's go see if there's anything in there. But yeah, next time he's at another Golem for Koper. They're just throwing themselves at his feet. But yeah, he might. I think once he goes back to the castle, we're going to get a Grave check. Yeah, Koper knows the flute is of no value whatsoever. These Golems are completely useless, so he definitely knows he does not need that. Oh, look what we have on Synth's side. I do believe Synth has Garanham, so it's a lot to claw back now, but who knows what... He's a red dragon. At least Synth has seen Garanham, so he knows where to go to get there. Ooh, Koper returning, so this might be the Grave check we're looking for. I was going to say it's a lot to claw back, but if you start looking at maybe Koper has some bad luck in Sharlock or whatever, you know, Synth is about to get Garanham, he's about to find Harp Cave, he's about to find Hawksnest, and that really nice Golem grind. Unfortunately, it's bounced by that red dragon, but it looks like a lot. 10k experience looks like a lot. Hey, Koper's in Grave. But with the Golems paying out, you look at a misdive on Koper's side, and that might give Synth the door to sneak back in here. But yeah, Koper in the Grave, he's about to get his sword, and once he gets the sword and the stones, I think Jerk Cave was in the total opposite direction of Sharlock, if I remember correctly. So it'll take a second or two to walk to Jerk Cave, but I mean, we're going to see Koper in Sharlock very shortly. Oh, look, a Golem! Because, of course, a Golem. Yeah, I wonder at this point if Koper's going to get 18 just, you know, just as a matter of going to get these last treasure chests. I wonder if he's just going to pick up 18 as he goes and does these final little bits of homework just for extra safety. You know, he keeps finding Golems, of course, and they're giving free experience away, but he still has to go to the another Golem, wow. Oh, now he's running. So he decided, now that he has the sword, he's decided he does not need 18 for safety. So now that he does have the sword, he's uninterested in level 18, which makes sense. I can certainly see wanting 18 if you were going to do the flame sword, but yeah, now that he's found the sword, he's uninterested in leveling, so he's going to get his Stones of Sunlight, trade in for the Rainbow Drop, do the last bit of homework. He hasn't seen Sharlock yet, but again, it was just to the northeast of the castle, so presumably he'll see it relatively quickly. He'll also see Tablet Cave, but of course he won't need to worry about Tablet Cave because he's got everything. So Koper is in find Sharlock and go mode. Is that a thing? That's a thing now. So yeah, Koper has literally everything we could want. He even has the Death Necklace. He has the Fighter's Ring. No point in opening up any more treasure chests. He's got the Red Dragon, who he just casually runs away from. I mean, 86 agility, you're roughly 50-50 to take off from that Red Dragon, but see you later. Synth gets the axe, the Armored Knight, I mean, so at least he gets a little revenge on them. Oh look, a Stoneman being a jerk on Koper's side. How could you run from a giant pile of stones at 86 agility? But he does eventually get away. Oh, Aaron's got the time for us. Yeah, it was 2 minutes in the Grave with a couple Golems on the way, so... Yeah, once he decided to go for bottom of the Grave, it wasn't going to take long. So the big question was, you know, how long is it going to take before he ends up going there? And, you know, well, for Synth, it's just unfortunate for Synth that he wasn't able to kind of catch up in that interim there, and that Koper just pushed all the advantage he had the whole time. Another golem for Koper. So Synth is in Hawksness. He got to Hawksness a different way, though. He looped around from the south, so he did not see Garanham, and he does not have the armor. Oh my gosh. And he gets a red dragon, too. Just will not stop for Synth. Yeah, so Synth, again, Koper did play this very well. He pushed all the grinds in the mid-game and the end-game very well. But man, Synth has not been able to catch a break with another red dragon killing him right before the harp. And even the exploration luck, too, to come across Hawksness from the south instead of the north route that Koper took, which would have given him the armor as well. Boy, it's just been a rough bit of luck for Synth, both with the red dragons, with the exploration, and kind of feels like one of those seeds where, like, man, if I went left versus right, but... All right, so Koper is just a Sharlock away from being ready to go, and again, we know it's just a little bit to the northeast, and presumably he'll check that probably on this little trip right out here. And then once he knows where Sharlock is, he's going to have a nice little waltz down to the bottom, I do believe. As far as things that could stop Koper right now, I don't know, there's not much. Like I said, the worst case scenario, you'd want 9 heal mores for this fight. That's in the absolute worst case scenario. He looks to have 11. 86 agility. I mean, even if you run into a bunch of armored knights and red dragons, they look like they just bite and attack, and you're 50-50 to run from them. You probably have at least 2 heal mores to spare. Only thing I think that could stop Koper now is somehow not finding Sharlock, but as I say that, he's about 1 tile or 2 tiles south of Sharlock, so if he walks north any bit, he's going to see it. Yes, right. A tornado could stop Koper, power crash, power surge, power outage. Yeah, I mean, that's always true. We've all been sextuple run blocked by a stone man on 95 agility, but at this point, man, with the way things have gone for Synth too, I think it might take more than 1 failed dive even, so... maybe if Koper has a tough time fighting Sharlock, he didn't find it that trip out, so we'll see. And Synth is about to see well, he doesn't have the armor, though. I was going to say he's about to see that nice golem grind, but he doesn't have the armor yet. So there are some things that could play in Synth's favor. It is a big experience gap, but once Synth gets the armor and gets on these golems, it will not take long to make that up. Boy, even if Koper missed a dive, though, I don't know. This is a lot to make up. Synth does have the fairy flute and he has heal more, so he can't get on the grind. Koper picking up a why not level 18. Not much there, some extra HP, so now he's gonna double every now and then just for funsies. Picks up a couple more attack power, so now I've got the worst case scenario. He needs 8 heal mores in the absolute worst case scenario. Plus he's gonna double every now and then. I mean, this is just going to be a casual stroll down to murder the Dragon Lord, I think, at this point. Yeah, Venicus and Aaron, 129 is the number for safe death necklacing. You could death necklace at 127 if you had to. You'd go to, what, 96, 95? I'm bad with math right now, but 95 HP. Which is doable. Oh, Koper sees Sharlocks. There you go. That was the last thing that could have helped Synth there, was Koper not finding Sharlock, but he's on it now. Yeah, you could death necklace at 127, and you're probably fine. But of course, in this scenario, there's no there's no real need of Death Necklace aside from wanting to see funny numbers. Yeah, we can see some really cool numbers if you put the Death Necklace on, but, I mean, this is a completely free fight without it, so... you know, he's gonna win with 2 or 3 Healmores probably without it, so... Yeah, ever want to hit the Dragon Lord for 30? Okay, he couldn't quite hit for 30, but it'd be close. Koper looking like he's uninterested in repelling or fairy. He does have some MP he could use for repel if he really, really wanted to, but also with his high agility, he can just run from whatever he feels like. He does have that fairy water he could throw. He is repelling a lot of this stuff, not the Axe Knight, but he could throw the fairy water to maybe avoid some of those like werewolf encounters or whatever, but also it doesn't take too long to just see you later from those, so not at 86 agility anyway. There was a 38 earlier today. Goodness. Oh man. I don't think I've ever seen a 38 before, but I'm interested. Yeah, I mean, Koper does have a fairy water in the inventory, but again, like I said, at this point, it's like, you know, what is it running? He just casually running from red dragons. What's a werewolf? So it would save a little bit of time, but it's not a big deal that he's not repelling or fairy watering. Yeah, as far as Perm Torch goes, I will say Tablet worries many people, myself included, just because if you get lost in there, you're pretty stuck. There's no way out. And then Bottom of Grave, too, so there is something to be said for Dark Nav, but yeah, from a viewership standpoint, it's certainly nice to see the caves lit up, definitely. So, looks like Sharlock has red dragons in Zone 2 and 3. This red dragon being kind of annoying, might force Koper... Nope, Koper gets away. I would say might force Koper into burning a Healmore, but he gets away. Synth gets another Armored Knight. Unfortunately, only had 3 MP, so couldn't deal with it, but Synth gets sent home again. Aaron, I would agree most of Sharlock is easy to do in the dark. It's the star-shaped room that always annoys me. But in general, yes, the other floors are not too bad to do in the dark. Meanwhile, Koper in the bottom of Sharlock already, as we were kind of predicting, it wasn't going to take him too long. Even though he didn't repel, he's just running from, you know, he had a little bit of run blocking from that one red dragon, but otherwise, everything's been see you later. This red dragon with a very rude back attack. Oh, red dragon on the spike tile will probably make Koper eat a Healmore, but absolutely no concern. Like I said, he's probably going to end up with casual 50 the red dragon. He's probably going to end up winning. He's not even going to have to use a Healmore. He's just going to herb here. I say he's probably going to end up winning with 2 or 3 Healmores left over anyway. Oh, he does Healmore, okay. But again, he's fine. He's got plenty in reserve. And Koper's made it to the Dragon Lord, and this should be very, very routine. I think, barring a mismenu or tornado, this should be over relatively soon. Yeah, absolutely vertical. You know, this is Koper's 3rd race of the day, and I won't say anything, but he's won the first 2, and I'll wait for, what is this going to be, like 27 seconds? Synth has found Garanham, finally, so unfortunately it's going to be too little for Synth. You know, even if something goes terribly wrong for Koper here, Synth, unfortunately, I don't think has the time to get on that golem grind and catch up, but Synth will finally get Garanham and get a little bit of relief. Well, he's going to be annoyed finding it took, you know, realizing it took him that long to get the armor, but... Oh, meanwhile, casual 17 on Koper's side. Not even going to bother to count. Oh, casual 22. There you go. I was going to say 17 is a relatively low roll, isn't it? But not even going to bother to count on Koper's side because it is just a foregone conclusion. This dude is dead. Yeah, you know, 2 races in one day is fine. The 3rd one I start to forget well, the first race I start to forget where things are, but I really start to forget where stuff is and, like, Do I have the harp yet, or was that the last race? So 3 in a row is pretty impressive for Koper. And I believe these last 2, if I remember the schedule correctly, were like literally back to back. So he's been on a roll today. And again, barring a tornado or sinkhole or something like that, he's about to pick up another. I'm gonna wait. Not gonna say it. Tallow. The damage range here is 11 to 23, so 17 is actually average. And there we go. Now I can say it. Koper has picked up the 3rd win. He cruises to victory with 3 Healmores left over, despite using a Healmore on the Red Dragon. It didn't matter. Koper gonna finish this up, goes 3 for 3 on the day to pick up seed number 3 in the Ghost group. Get your GGs out for Mr. jkoper. Very impressive seed there. Like we were saying, he pushed every advantage he could. Even though he didn't get the sword early on, just didn't matter. Did a really good job of just everything coming together, and very nice job. 118.30 something or other. 23. 118.23. And there you go. Synth has the news there, so you can see Synth has seen, and put in the GGs there, so absolutely beautiful race from Koper. Synth did run into some problems with the Red Dragons and unfortunate exploration luck, taking a long time to find both Golems and Garanham, but wow, Koper, I don't know if it mattered. Koper really, really played that seed very, very well from start to finish, really. From, as Lizzie says, the very beginning with the Magicians, and Brian pointed out the Wraith Knights in the middle, and then at the end, just absolutely taking everything from those Golems. That was mighty, mighty impressive. And even though he didn't gamble grave early, that's impressive to make it just not matter, so. I think the stats just went by. Was it 33 Golems that Koper killed? I mean, he did not give them any rest at all, so. And in chat there, Scarlet, GG's to you too. That was, to be that close to someone like Koper, that's pretty impressive. So GG's to you, and that's a pretty good tournament to be almost that 3 seed. And like I said, to be that close to someone like Koper is certainly nothing to be sorry about. So. 15 magicians killed, and I think all 15 were in the first 5 minutes, so. Tallow, we're not going to get the stats on Synth's side, but I know there's at least more than 7 times I feel like I glanced over and was like, oh, Red Dragon on Synth's side, okay, again. So, the encounter luck wasn't with Synth. The exploration luck wasn't either, but again, man, that was... Oh, and we have joining us in the booth here, we have Mr. jkoper. Welcome, and GG's to you, sir.
Hey, thanks.
We were just saying that was a mighty impressive run from you. You really pushed everything from Magicians at the very end to Wraith Knights in the middle to those lovely Golems, and it's pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah, the seed was very kind, I think. I certainly did not need that last level, but the seed insisted upon it, so I figured maybe I'll get some more agility, and then I can run better, but that didn't happen, so... whatever. It was just silly.
I did think it was kind of funny how we saw you killing stuff and, on the way to 18, and then you suddenly found the sword and were like, nope, and started running for everything. So we definitely saw the thought process there.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking, before I got the sword, I was thinking that maybe I will not end up finding the sword in the seed, so I should plan on a potential flame sword finish. And then I found the sword, of course, because the I was expecting the stones to be on the overworld, then they weren't. Flute that I definitely did not want was on the overworld instead, and then had to dive the grave for the stones anyway, and then I found the sword, so that worked out, I guess.
Yeah, we definitely got a kick out of you dropping the fairy flute. Meanwhile, Synth has also joined us in commentary, and I was about to say, Synth, you said it in chat, you went for the early grave gamble, it worked out beautifully, and then the seed just said nope to you, basically.
This is the story of my life. Right? So I'm in the grave, right? I'm like, it worked out for Vertical Sandwich in my first race. I'm going to take a stupid stab at the grave with minimal resources. And I get the sword at 17 minutes in, and the stones, and I'm feeling really good. And then DWR does what DWR always does to me. There, my soul's been bared.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you mentioned in chat too, we saw on Coper's side with the stats, he saw like 7 red dragons, and I think I might have looked over and saw red dragons killing you more than 7 times. It was pretty brutal there for a bit.
I'm never competing in this game again. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, man. Like we said, you had a great start with the grave, and you had a lot of exploration early on, and then it just stopped you.
And it does like I said this on Monday. It doesn't matter how well my seed starts. It doesn't matter how well my seed goes. Someone else has a better finish every time.
Yeah, it was also sort of unfortunate too. You eventually found the armor. Well, you found Mountain Cave, which had the armor, but the golems ended up being kind of free. They were 75% stop spells, so once you had the armor, they were pretty much the ticket. But
right,
even the exploration luck, I was mentioning that too. Kind of like you have to walk this way and you walk the opposite way. So even the exploration luck wasn't putting up with you.
It's a metaphor for my life. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough one. So,
all right, I'm done with the interview. jkoper, good luck in the bracket. I hope you take it down because you beat me.
Thanks, friend.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night,
all right, good night, Synth. Coper, you looking at more than just this seed. This was your 3rd race today, which we were also mentioning in chat. Like, wow. And you went 3 for 3 to pick up the number 3 seed in your group. I want to say, how'd you do it? That's pretty amazing.
I don't know. Every seed, I think something just went my way kind of a little bit, and I took advantage of it. So yeah. This seed, you know what was the most interesting moment in this seed? When the first golem I saw, I ran from him, and then I saw one a second later, he back attacked me and cast Hurt. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll give this a shot. And yeah, it was a long time before I ran from another golem after that. So, but that was interesting. I suppose I still have my stats running. What is it? I'm curious about how many golems I beat.
33, I think. Something ridiculous like that.
Yeah. I only beat 2 red dragons.
Something like you didn't see too many, and I know you swung away at a few of them, but
just sort of in the end game. There's nothing wrong with the red dragons necessarily. They just weren't as good as the golems.
Yeah, and you definitely had. I mean, you were definitely fighting golems all over the place too, which of course is much better than the red dragons in this scene.
That was, I don't know how many zones they were in, and they were like 2 of 5 in every zone. It seemed like that they were in. They were just all over the place. So I don't know. It was crazy. What a crazy day though. Yeah, I don't know where Synth was when I finished.
Yeah, so Synth had a rough go of it. He had trouble finding Garanham, so that was kind of what ended up pushing you ahead. Was you found Garanham way before he did. He dove for the sword, and he had that, but you found Garanham before he did, and then with the armor, the golems were free. Synth's problem was that he was getting stop spelled by the golems, and then they'd start attacking him, and that didn't go well. So once you had the armor, and that basically made the golems free, and he never really got that advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, they were 75% stop spelled, and they must have been probably 50% hurt or something. I'm not really sure.
It was, I don't know if Synth ever saw the hurt, honestly, though, but yeah, it was 75% stop spell and 50% hurt.
Okay. Yeah, that was that was crazy. This would be an interesting seed to route out, I think. See how far it could be pushed, perhaps. Although the agility might be a concern. I think you wouldn't use an agility build, or I think you would use an agility build rather than a strength build, or not a strength build. I mean what's the other? HP. An HP build. I think you'd use agility instead if you're gonna play the seed out for the fastest time.
Don't give Mr. Holmes ideas. He'll be speedrunning this and have this sub 10 by tomorrow.
Sub 10. I don't know about all that, but
well, maybe with a 20-minute pause, he'll go sub 10. But yeah,
yeah. But yeah, that's crazy. HP was really low, kind of, and it was sort of limiting for a long time until I ground all those golems, and then after that everything was good. So yeah, I went from a really really HP poor seed to all of a sudden, well, am I gonna put the death necklace on? But I didn't, because I didn't need to, and I don't know. I could have. It would have been silly, but I figured it was faster to not do it.
we were saying if you want to see some funny numbers, you can put the death necklace on, but otherwise, yeah, not really any need to.
Yeah, I was just worried about winning the race, so I thought there was a good chance that he was very close to me. Unfortunate that things didn't work out that way, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, the armor was really the big thing, it sounds like, because he had the sword early, but I did a gold grind fairly early, probably around the same time that he got the sword, maybe, and they had flame sword for about as long, so that it was just as good when we had absurd strength the whole time.
Right, that's what we were saying, was that he did have the sword early, and you actually both did the gold grind roughly around the same time, but yeah, the sword didn't really matter until the end game, and you had the flame sword relatively early on too, so it's like, yeah, when you have 80-something strength, that Wraith Knight's dying whether you have the flame sword or the air drake sword, so. And certainly the golem is.
Right, yeah. I mean, would I have preferred to have the sword and get, have a few less turns on those golems? Sure, but that's not a big deal. Anyway, thanks so much for doing the comms, I guess, and Archfield and Venicus for tracking, I'm guessing, and yeah, that was fun for me, I guess. Fun day. I like winning races. So looking forward to the bracket reveal, I guess, which would be next week, I suppose.
Yeah, you've locked up the 3 seed, so definitely have some brackets in your future. Any thoughts going into the brackets?
No, not really. I mean, it's a randomizer. Just gonna play it as it comes to me and see what happens. I think there are plenty of people in this tournament who are significantly better at this game than I am, but you know, if seeds happen like they do today, then I think I can beat anyone. So just take it one step at a time. So
all right, well, good luck, best of luck to you in the brackets, unless you happen to face me. But
Yeah, thanks. Same to you guys.
but yeah, GG's on the race tonight. And if there's no further comments here, I'd like to thank Venicus for tracking and Archfield for restreaming. As always, really glad to get a team together for these late ones here. And thank you all for joining us and watching this race and watching Koper wrap up his 3 for 3 and this number 3 seed. Archfield in chat has our next race. It's Fitz and Toaster versus Veil UV. I'm not sure which group that is, but they'll be going off tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern. So you can join us back here for that. The Scorpion group. Oh, watch out for the Hurtmores. All right, so we're going to send it over to Zarnax. Enjoy that. Have a good night, everyone. And we'll see you back here for our next race.